you got to have that happy medium of kind of being, have enough energy, but like not too much energy.
Yeah.
Because you're just so excited. You're playing everything like way too fast and you start getting dirty looks and you're like, okay. All right, okay, I get it. I'm rushing. I get it, I'll calm down. I'll calm down.
All right, we're back with another episode of Drummers High. Andy Zildjian here with Jake Najor. He's a local San Diego player who has toured the nation and internationally. Let's see, does a lot of local recording and plays a lot in the area. So tell me, Jake, how you doing today?
Doing great, man. Glad to be here.
Glad you're here, man.
Yeah.
So, the idea is I want to talk about drumming, not as technique, because to me that's kind of like, we've already read that Modern Drummer.
Sure.
Right. So it's time to move on and talk about other things like the joy of playing and how much it informs the rest of your life. And the idea of the drummer's high, it comes from that moment when you're playing and everything is working out well. You, the audience, the rest of the band, everything coalesces and all of a sudden you're in a different place.
Yeah.
You've been there.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it, man.
It's this weird thing, like, you're playing and you just, for me, like, I'm playing and then I'm just like, everything's just moving and it's just like, I don't even feel like everything's just doing it on its own. Like, I'm not like in an autopilot way, just like, I just feel like I could just do anything and I'm just like free and just like, man, it's just such a great, it's hard to explain the feeling, but it's just such a good feeling to have, And I feel like it resonates. Like the rest of the band kind of picks up on that, and they can tell, like, hey, man, something was different tonight. Like you're really feeling it. Like it felt good, and like hopefully like the audience picks up on that as well.
Is there a different, or is there a specific genre where you usually get that feeling more than others?
Not necessarily, no. I just think if I'm feeling the music that I'm playing at the time, it's just like, it could be like, a ballad or it could be an up-tempo.
You felt that on a ballad.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Of course.
Hey, good for you.
I mean, if the singer's really bringing it and the band's really playing like with dynamics and it's really like I've felt that before.
Awesome. Because I've on a slow song, I've never been able to get there.
It depends on like kind of how the pocket, if it's like a real deep, like almost like more of an R&B kind of ballad, like a 12/8 or a 6/8 where it's got, it's still got a little soul in it, but it's not necessarily fast.
I got you. A little bit of funk, but still a
right, but not not on 10. More like a 4.
Now I get it.
You get it.
Now I get it. Yeah. So as drummers, we're different from the rest of the band in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah.
And one of the ways is also athletes. I'm a hockey player as well, and I won't change my socks if we won the last game. Right.
All right.
So you have these rituals that you do before each gig. Yes.
Yeah. So.
They all pretty much the same, or and if you don't do them, how do you feel when you're up there?
Okay, generally. I'm not like too superstitious. I mean, I do try to meditate if I can before a gig. If I can find, it's tough to find like a place that's quiet enough where you can do that, but I do make it a point to do that. And that does help me get just really focused on like what I'm trying to do. And like generally like on gigs, man, I mean, I try to kind of like isolate myself a little bit just so I can get my head into like, I'm not big on the small talk with everybody at the bar before I play. I mean, I don't want to get distracted on what I'm trying to do. It's like I take it seriously, like So, and I'll talk to people after the gig once it's done. Then I'm like, I can relax. I'm like, okay, my job's done. I can, let loose a little bit, have fun. But yeah, before the gig, I really try to just like find a quiet place where I can just kind of just focus on like what I want, what I need to do for the night.
You rarely meet any musician or any performer that before a gig is saying, no problem, I got it made.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have that focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to be a little bit nervous. I think it's good to have some of the little butterfly thing going on your stomach.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be like, if you're too confident about it, just like, man, it's just not going to be, where's the excitement? Where's like the anticipation? It's just like, yeah, I got this. We've done it a million times, you got to be confident, obviously, to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
We know that.
Just to show up.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be confident to like play the songs and, as drummers, we're kind of like the quarterback, I think. Like we direct the band, and a lot of stuff we do, it can affect everything. The songs, like if we're overplaying, if we're playing too loud, or if we're not playing with enough energy, like it can really affect everything. So I think it's good just to have your head in the game and just be focused.
So when you were a kid, you weren't you weren't born saying, I'm going to be a drummer.
No.
You had a moment when you said, whoa, wait a minute, that's cool, I want to do that. Do you remember that moment?
I do remember that because my older brother plays drums. So
oh, okay.
and my oldest brother plays guitar. Yeah. So there was always music in the house.
Good.
Those guys were always playing. And I liked music, but I was kind of more into sports. I was kind of more of a sports guy. And it was like going into like junior high, high school was when I really connected more with music, and like sports was cool, but I was like, I'm never going to be a big time athlete. It was just something I just did for fun.
Fun.
And initially I think I wanted to play bass. So we would have been able to have like a family band. Like
you got over that
bass,
fast
drums.
though, didn't you?
I was like, but since there was always drums in the house, I would just kind of get on it and mess around and just go, you know what? Like, I think I can kind of do this. Like, this kind of feels natural. Like, I kind of feel like I could probably do it, So my two older brothers, like, pulled together some money and got me a kit, just a little cheap kit.
Man, that was good of them, though.
No, they were my brothers have been very supportive of me, like,
good.
Still to this day, like, always encouraged me, like, gotten me gigs, like, just always been like, you're doing a great job, man. We're so proud of you, So it's been nice. And, of course, my parents have been very, like, supportive this whole time. So they're great. So I think that's really important, man, just to have that support, like, to know, like, okay, like, what I'm doing is, like, it's okay. Yeah. Like, it's not, like, this bad thing or you're wasting your time. What do you, so it's important to have that support,
Which is cool. A lot of times, as you know, parents are like, shut up, you're too loud.
Sure.
But at the same time, when they really want to foster it, they got to let you go.
Sure.
And play.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up and learning, and I'm sure it probably happened with your brothers, you had that point where you said, I don't just like drumming. I got to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when did that one hit you?
So it was like, I think it was like about like 11th grade. I went to kind of a small, like, private school. So we didn't have a band program, but that year they brought in like a guy, and we had like the pep band that we would play in school. So that really, like, I got to play music every day, and I got to learn basically how to play, like, with a band.
Right.
So I think that was really crucial for me, like, as far as, like, development.
Yep.
And just learning, I was getting, and of course I was getting credit for it, so it was helping me, like, get through school, but...
That doesn't hurt.
But yeah, so I think that was, like, a big thing for me to, like, at that age, it's hard to, like, find people your age that play music, because, you don't really, nobody drives, and we all live far away from each other, so... Now, like, you got, like, School of Rock, which is great, like, for the kids, Yep. So it was kind of, for me, it was kind of like that for me. Like, I learned all the classic songs, and then, from there we started our own little band and we started playing, and then once I graduated high school, I mean, I just kept going and I kept playing, and that band kind of fell apart eventually.
As they do.
And then like I just started getting like professional gigs around town.
Did you take lessons, or I mean, when you were in school, I'm sure that person had some type of lesson, but at the same time, was it more just you were picking it up as you were going along?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
You were feeling it and just growing from there.
He just he's teaching us just like about dynamics. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't giving me like drum notation to read or anything, but it was just like practical. Like here's how here's what you do in a song. Like you break it down on the verses, bring it up. Just basic stuff, but like a lot of stuff that it's pretty invaluable like resource to have.
So as you've grown up playing and learning and feeling the music, you created your own voice.
Yeah.
Tell me how that informs the bands that you play with, and because they got to be playing a little bit differently with you than they would with somebody else.
Sure. I mean, I like to control. I definitely like to lead the band and kind of guide them, and like if there's something that's kind of gets weird, I try to bring them back, where they need to be. So I don't mind being the guy that kind of directs and kind of like guides, like here's where we're gonna go right here.
Without standing in front.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell me, as you're getting used to being able to direct people without being, I'm in charge, that kind of thing. How does that inform the rest of your life? Because it's got to have an influence on everything else you do. Not just that part, but also about the physicality, the emotion of playing, the way that you get your exercise, but you're also calm, your control. How does that inform the rest of your life?
I don't know. I've always just kind of been like everything I do, I try to do a good job and like try to be just on time and be like be responsible and just be like dependable. Yeah. So yeah, like it kind of translates in like being a solid drummer and just being a solid person and being like, oh, he says he's gonna do this. Yep. He's gonna do it. Like we're not worried like he's going to be a flake, or he's going to show up late, or he's going to show up like messed up, or, his gear is always going to be working. He's going to be on time. He's going to be prepared. He's going to know, he's just going to be ready to go. So we've all seen Spinal Tap. And we know the drummer keeps blowing up and dying, which is, for some reason, a strange cliche. But I've always found that the drummer is the one usually that owns the van. Right. Because you got to bring your own stuff, right? Sure. And you probably own the PA system because you own the band, right? So you also have to do all the scheduling. Oh yeah. Yeah, the singer hires everybody, but it's up to you to fire the ones that aren't good, right? Right. Yeah. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, it's your favorite part about being in a band, isn't it? Oh yeah. So, for you at playing, is it more of a physical or more of an emotional thing when you play? Kind of both. Okay. Just depending on what the music is. If it's more aggressive, then I think it's a more of a physical thing because it's like it's got to put more into it. But for the more kind of mellow stuff, you kind of tap into the more emotional side of it and kind of try to bring. I like to when I'm feeling the music, like I kind of like am animated and stuff, so I can, you'll see it in my face, like if I'm feeling it, like so the emotion, like. Then sometimes I've been on gigs where like the song hit me and like I kind of started crying, like like I've had moments. We were doing this like David Bowie tribute. And it was that song Heroes. And it just, I don't know, just something about that song, it just really hit me hard. I started crying. It was just like, I felt that, I felt just I honestly felt like his presence was there that night. I completely get that. And it was just, it doesn't happen often, but like that was the time where I definitely felt like what you were asking earlier. Yeah. Like it definitely affected me, and I didn't care. Like, I know people saw it. I don't care, man. I'm not afraid to like show my true emotions.
Well, there you go.
So.
That's it. So it is informing other parts of your life.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah, I have had the same situation where you go along and all of a sudden you think, why am I tearing up?
Right.
Because you're feeling the emotion of the moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think drumming.
Oh yeah.
More than anything.
Oh, definitely, man. I think too, you want to keep your emotions like in check, because sometimes if you're like too emotional, it can affect the music in a bad way. Like you get excited and you kind of start speeding up.
Yeah.
Or if you're like bummed, you're just like everything's like slow and just kind of plodding. So you got to have that happy medium of kind of being, have enough energy, but like not too much energy.
Yeah.
Because you're just so excited. You're playing everything like way too fast, and you start getting dirty looks, and you're like, okay, all right, okay, I get it. I'm rushing. I get it. I'll calm down.
So, drummers, again, different from everybody else in the
Sure.
band. We tend to really enjoy seeing each other.
Yeah.
There's a thing we call the drummer hug,
Right.
which I have never seen anybody else in a band do.
Right.
There's just something about another drummer. Great to see you, being able to share and talk about stuff, and no worries about somebody taking what you're doing, because you can't. Everybody's tendons are different, et cetera. You can't quite steal things, but you've got to have some really good stories of running into other drummers and just like the emotion of it, and how strange it can be at times. Things. What do you got?
I think one time I was at the NAMM show, and I ran into James Gadsden.
Oh yeah.
And he's actually a good friend of mine. I've known him now for like almost, 13 years.
It's a good start, man.
Yeah. So just every time I see him, man, he's so gracious, man. He's so supportive. We actually were on a recording date not that long ago where he did the drums, and then I came in. No. I did the drums first, then he came in and did his songs, and I was able to watch him record. And it was a treat, man. You don't get to sit in on sessions like that where it's a legendary guy, and you see how he ticks and how he works, and it's really cool just to hang out with him. He's definitely a guy I really look up to, man. Just the way he is as a person, he's just such a nice guy. He's just so genuine. Like he's so humble. You know what I mean? He doesn't walk in with an attitude like, he's just so just humble and just such a nice man.
So that's what I find with drummers. I mean, there's just a way that they're still egos.
Sure, of course.
But they're not very strong, because everybody gets to be able to put out their energy, and it comes back in a way that's always positive. Yeah. I love that about drumming.
That's great, man. You don't really see that with other instruments. It's like way more competitive, like guitar players.
Big time. And have you ever seen two singers in the same room?
No.
Me either.
Nope. Right.
Although, it was strange. I was talking to Dave Garibaldi a while ago, and he said that, trumpet players are kind of like that too. I said, come on. And he said, no, they hang out and they'll chat and they'll talk with each other like we do.
That's true.
So, okay.
Horn players are usually, there's more of a community, I think, too.
Yeah. Was it all horn players? You've played with all types of horn players.
Sure. Yeah, trumpet players are cool. Well, trombone, sax. I mean, they're all, like anything. There's always that competition, but they're usually, fairly friendly. Like they share gigs and stuff like that, and recommend people.
And drummers do that all the time.
Oh yeah, of course.
So you've got good friends in town. You'll switch gigs in and out.
Yeah, you got to have a good sub that you can call, because you can't do every gig, or if something better comes along, you got to be able to.
You can never say that.
Well, not better, but just if it's a bigger opportunity,
Yeah, I do.
You're like, hey man, can you cover, Joe's dive tonight. I gotta go do this.
Yeah, I got to go to the Greek. I'm performing the Greek.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like you just gotta have somebody that you can count on that can do gigs.
Yeah.
You know, because you just can't do them all.
All right, man. So I got to hit you with the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Go.
All right. The 5 fast.
All right.
Non-drumming. Who are your top 3 heroes?
Non-drumming.
Non-drumming.
Wow.
Yeah. See, I'm lucky. I've heard good answers, so I can get away with it. But you haven't heard any yet.
Oh, dang, man. I didn't think about that. I'd say definitely my father.
Oh, man, that's the best one.
Yeah.
Parents? Yep.
It's my father. You know, he's just such a good man, hardworking man. Like, taught me a lot of good lessons over the years. Just great provider and just very supportive, like I said earlier. Like, he's always, you know, asking me about my gigs and comes out sometimes. You know, he's a little older, but he comes out when he can, so that's nice. Also, man, 2 more.
See, that's the best one, though. In some of the past interviews, when they say my parents, like, man, you know,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Yeah. Because without them,
Sure. Right.
you might be doing something completely different.
That's true, man. Yeah. Definitely. You know. I'd say obviously my mom too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just my parents. She's done so much and still continues to do so. And then, actually, man, the guy that's going to be on next, Mike Bedard. He's just been such a good friend to me and just been so supportive. And I just feel like he's just that guy I could call, like, when I'm in trouble or just whenever I need just advice or just anything, man. He's just always been there for me, you know. So I feel like even though he plays drums, but I guess that doesn't count.
Well, that's okay, though, because you know, a lot of people, what I mean really is you're not looking at who your favorite drummers are, the ones that you grew up
just
with.
people that in your life.
Yeah, as a mentor, he's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good call.
Thanks, man.
Second choice of profession, if you could not be a drummer, what would you be doing?
Second choice of profession. I would have to say owning a record store. It's close to music, but it's not, you know.
No, it's not drumming, so it could be anything.
Drumming. Yeah, I think it would be great to have a record store. I love vinyl. And I just think it would be fun. That's what you're surrounded by all day long. It's like records and
music.
And so, yeah.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
What's the strangest venue in which you ever played?
It's this place in Bakersfield. It's called Jerry's Pizza.
It's a pizza joint?
Yeah, and like you play downstairs in this like kind of basement, and then like they give you like free pizzas all night.
They do pay you for the gig, though.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, thank God.
That was definitely the oddest gig, I'd say.
That's all right. They didn't have bowling or anything over going over anything.
No, I wish. I wish they did.
That would have been, wow. Put you right over the edge.
Yeah.
Something you've done that you say to yourself, you know, I'm never going to do that again. And it could be even a gig that you just, you know what? No.
Do you want like specifics or?
Oh, well.
I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Tell me, so what do you call that? The statute of limitations. Make sure we're outside of the statute of limitations.
Sure. Oh, I was on a gig one time and one of the guys had like a drinking problem and he was like, he started like shaking and he like couldn't play, you know?
Whoa.
And we were just like, I was like, what are we gonna do? Like it was a long gig. It was like at a bar, you know, like a 4-hour gig. And I'm just like, it's not a fun position to be in. I'm like, the guy can't even play, you know?
Was it somebody important like the bass player?
Yeah. Ooh. So it was just like, you know, I was like, man, I wish I wasn't here, you know, like, ouch. Rough.
Never do that again.
Yeah.
And if you could learn it in a day, what style would you want to be able to play?
Latin.
Latin. Yeah. What is it about the Latin style that takes you?
I'm just not that familiar with it. Like, I mean, I listen to it a little bit, but it's so different from like pop, rock and roll, like the rhythms and stuff. I always just feel like, I can't take any of those gigs, man, just because I don't feel like I don't speak that language, like they're going to call something. I'm just like, oh, I don't know, like I feel like.
Well, it is a different language, but so much of it is emotional.
Sure.
That if you really started listening to it and playing it, you could feel it.
Sure.
Once you start feeling it.
Sure. I mean, yeah, like any style of music, if you immerse yourself into it, you're gonna get it. But
yeah,
to be able to learn it like that fast would be great.
Wouldn't it?
To be able to have that, I could take that, I could do that gig, and feel like good about it. So yeah, that definitely would be nice,
All right. Well, there we are, Jake.
All right, man.
Thanks, man. And thank you for joining us on Drummer's Eye.